Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here, Safi Financial Network, February 28, 2025. What a day, what a week for S&P 500, Nasdaq, and the other commodity and stocks as well. So we just got a bear reversal last week, and this week we just got kind of like a confirmation. But today, Friday, was kind of like a market relief because we got into 5830-ish area and bounced back up nicely, especially on Friday's session. We got back up nicely. Still, we got a bearish candle on a weekly basis, and also this is second consecutive week, but still we are within this range. So no panic, folks. I know that that was extreme panic. I would say 60% of people based on AAI just got into the bearish kind of like a sentiment, and that is kind of like a contrary, folks. Especially when you see fear and greed index just goes all the way down to extreme fear. When we have less than 5% correction in S&P 500, when you see 60% people are voting for bearish momentum down the road for the next 6 months, this is crazy. This is insane. This means that a lots of people just are putting their kind of like a money in the stocks, and that's why people are just getting nervous even with a 2-3% corrective move to the downside. Right now we just got kind of like a nice relief rally today, and we got back to 59.65 based on the stochastic momentum. However, we are still in a bearish momentum, so look at this. So this is kind of like a dual back bear reversal to the downside. And however, for the RSI, you will see that whenever we got here since 2023, whenever we got into this 50-ish percent, like a 53 to 50%, 55% RSI on a weekly basis, we get bounce. And this time could be different, but I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. So we may see some kind of like a bounce. The concerning part for RSI is this is falling. And this is obvious divergence based on the price action and also RSI momentum. So you see that the price action, the price is going higher while RSI is going down. So this means this is very, very bad for the market. However, for the MACD, I would say this is pretty bullish. Right now, we just got a digestive momentum, and this is kind of like the rally, and this is a corrective move with then just consolidation. And also MACD is showing a negative reading on that one. This means market is doing a correction. Basically, market is in a corrective phase. I know it is at new all-time high, but this is kind of like the correction within time rather than within price. Sometimes we get this. So this is a correction after a strong rally, and look what happened after that. And sometimes we are just getting kind of like a week's correction, even multi-months, getting to the downside 2018, kind of like a mini, I would say mini bear market, but V-shaped recovery going back all the way up. And sometimes we are getting multi-years, even 2-3 years corrective move, consolidation within the time rather than a price. I know it was kind of like a big drop here, but this W pattern forms a nice rally after that. So right now, I would say at the top of the market, we get kind of like the consolidation. As long as we are above 5,500 on a weekly basis, we are still in a bullish momentum. So look at this trend line. This is going back to 2020 COVID crash bottom. Here is the 2022 bottom. And also this is the 2023 bottom. So if you connect these three pivotal points, you stretch this trend line, as long as we are above this pivotal point, or as long as we are above this trend line, we should just give market benefit of doubt for the next rally to the upside. However, even correction to this area to 5,500, that would be still within this a bullish momentum, and that can lead to new all-time high. But if you get below kind of like an August low, I would say that's going to be a very, very important level. August 2024 low, which is going to be 5,000 area. If we get below August low, that would be structuring actually the bearish market or bearish momentum to the downside, and we are getting to a bear market, secular bear market will have started. I would say in 2026 afterwards, we can see that, not in 2025. But again, there are lots of things happening, and we can't foresee the future. We are just reading the charts, and we are just following the price action. That's all about it. Right now, we give market benefit of doubt for the next rally to the upside. If we just zoom in into um, a daily momentum, so you will see that market just nicely reacting to this trend line. So this is a very good reaction to the trend line. I'm not sure about the Monday. If we get kind of like confirmation, I'm gonna talk about that. But here is very clean and neat. So we just reacted to this level, and market just nicely get back up nicely today after hitting 50, I would say 58.30, even 58, 58.36, and then getting back to the upside nicely. Nice bullish harami on a daily basis. But I'm gonna give you two scenarios. One scenario is gonna be bearish scenario, the first scenario, which we may see some kind of like a rally next week. And also next week we will have NFP on Friday. So everyone will keep an eye on that one because we have lots of layoffs. NFP is going to be bad, folks. NFP is going to be bad because we will have lots of layoffs, and especially because of the Doge, there are lots of governmental layoffs that can initiate market like a kind of like anxiety to the market. But take it as like a Doge, a kind of like an action to the bigger picture of the economy. Right now, we may see some kind of like a rally next week to 6,000, 6,045. That's the level. If we get daily close above 6,045, we may see some kind of like double top or even new all-time high. So keep an eye on 60.45. So that's the level that everyone needs to keep an eye. If we get a daily close above 6,045, then we are heading to potentially double top or even new all-time high. If we're reacting to this level, and that's going to be the level. So I was talking about the bearish scenario, but ended up to the bullish scenario. But let's talk about the bearish scenario. So if we get this rally to 6,000 to 645, and then reversing to the back, reversing down to here, that would be a bigger drop, which is A, B, and then C wave is coming down the road, potentially to 5,700. So that's the scenario that I'm looking at. For now, I would say the short-term picture is going to be a rally for 2-3 days to 6,645. So that's the level that I'm looking at. After that, if we get engulfed above 6,045, we're good to go for another rally, potentially double top new all-time high, 6,200, 6,250. But if we're reacting to this level as like a bearish reaction, getting back to the downside, that would be kind of like very, I would say, tricky for the market to initiate a C wave. And that would be kind of like this. And we are just getting 56.67. I would say that's the area that I'm looking at, which is going to be this pivotal point, breaking through kind of like around this area. So 56.67, that's the bearish scenario, right? For the bullish scenario, we need to get above 6,045, and that's how we ended up to potentially new all-time high. Everyone needs to keep an eye on this level. 6,000, I'm just going to write it down very bold here. 6,045. Keep an eye on 6,045 next week. I don't know how many times I mentioned this number here. All right, moving on to Nasdaq. Nasdaq, the same scenario here. We just got a nice rally. And for Nasdaq, the level that everyone needs to see that is 21,400 to 21,500. So everyone, I would say next week, everyone needs to keep an eye 21,500. So 21,500, that's the decisive moment for Nasdaq. We may see a rally to here. If we get above this level, we can backtest nicely, double top here, potentially zigzag, and then the all-time high. So this is bullish scenario. But if we get to 21,500, like this, and then reversing back down, I would say we are going to see a deeper corrective move, potentially to 20,000 area. And that 20,000 area, let me zoom back here, is coming to this level, not this level. It's coming to this level. So this is the area that we need to test right there, even less than 2,000, even less than 20,000. So we may see some kind of like a rally going down to this area. And that would be a breakout for the trend line. Sure, we can, but we can make a new trend line actually going up. So I would say the C wave still is going to be on the case around the corner if we don't get engulfment above 6,045 on S&P 500, 21,500 in Nasdaq. All right. So let's move on to Dow. Dow actually performed very well today, and also stochastic momentum on a daily chart shows that we are getting into a new rally. The last time we got this, we got into new all-time high. We got here, and also we got here. So this is kind of like a nice divergence here. A W pattern hit new all-time high. But right now we are just getting down. And again, a stochastic momentum with kind of like a good RSI, actually corrective move to the downside. We get kind of like a good reaction. And remember yesterday I was talking about, and I'm not sure, yesterday or 2 days ago, I was talking about this bearish consolidation can form a nice rally to the upside and can fail. So that's going to be a demand, not a bearish consolidation. So this is the example. Look at that. Here's another example. Look at that. And also this could be another example, the third one. If we get kind of like a rally nicely, seems like we are getting rally. So if we get a nice rally on Dow Jones, so we may see some kind of like a rally to new all-time high. I would say the level for Dow Jones for a decisive moment is going to be this flag limit, which is going to be 44,300. So 44,300 for Dow Jones is going to be important level. Right now we are at 43,700. So let's say another 700 points to the upside. We may see some kind of like a anxiety in Dow Jones if we're going to get higher, or we can reverse it back to the downside. I would say Dow is potentially heading to the all-time high sooner than Nasdaq and sooner than S&P 500. We will see how it goes. But the formation of the Dow stocks actually are getting better and better, I would say. Banking sectors are pretty good these days. We will get to those ones as well. Moving on to gold, which are continuing to the downside. Gold is just getting established itself below SMA 20. Right now, I would say 27.29, 27.85 is coming down the road. We may see some kind of like a relief rally or dead cat bounce, but I would say eventually we're going to go down to 27.30 to 27.85 for gold as a kind of like a good corrective move to the downside. And that would be a potential scenario for gold. Silver is the same. Silver is coming down nicely, but I would say silver is resilient to this area, to this $30 per ounce. So we will see. If silver is going down more, I would say I'm going to change my call, but I would say silver $29 is strong, and also above this, $30 is very, very strong. Right now, we are at 31.53, 31.15 cents. But if we get even some kind of like a bearish momentum to the downside, maximum level that we can get is a $30. So if we get to $30, it's going to be a good area. If you have silver allocation added, if you don't have, just add more to your position. So that's going to be good stuff. Crude just have a very, very light, I would say, volatile day today. So not a bad session compared to the other days when we have rallied 1 day or even 4 days. Then we get kind of like a sharp sell-off to the downside. But crude today, we didn't get a sharp sell-off. Probably it's just the beginning of the new bottom. So we are seeing a very nice divergence here. Crude is getting to $69, close a week above $70, which is positive. At least there is a light at the end of the tunnel for crude. But if we get kind of like a bullish momentum, we need to get above $73 to $74. If we get above $73 to $74, then crude is just hiking higher for $80 to $81 per barrel. So we'll see how it goes. As long as we are below $74, we can't make strong bullish case for crude. But this is very kind of like a nice scenario for a bottom formation. At least we are seeing Here is the low, here's the higher low, and here's another higher low. As long as we are above 65 to 67, we should just give kind of like a bullish momentum to crude, but we need to get some more confirmation. $74, that's very, very important level for crude. Moving on to individual names, starting with Bitcoin. So remember, we were talking about this level 74 to 76 thousand. So Bitcoin just got into 78,000, just top of this flag limit and getting back to the upside. I would say potentially Bitcoin just finished its corrective move for a tradable rally. So we may see some kind of like a bullish momentum is coming back to Bitcoin to 92,000. For Bitcoin, we need to establish itself above 94,000. If we get above 94,000, if it keeps itself above 94,000 to 96,000, then we can see rallies coming potentially for new all-time high this time. But right now, I'm kind of like a cautious, just because that 96 to 98,000 is very, very important. If we don't get above that level, we are getting back to the downside. I would say a deeper corrective move is coming, like 66,000 or 74,000, as I believe that uh, previously could happen. But right now, I should say this sharp sell-off, we may see some kind of like a nice snap back to the upside. Ethereum is the same. We are just getting deeper to this demand area. Look at this. So we tested a couple times. Once we tested, we never back tested back and getting to new all-time high, got back capitulated here. And I would say this candle today is kind of like at the beginning of a new rally, or kind of like a picking up all the orders. All the orders, if collected from here and getting back to the upside, keep an eye on this trend line, because this trend line is very, very important. If we get above 26,000, I would say 26, 100, not 1,000. 2,600 for Bitcoin is very, very important. So if we get above this, coming back down, that would be a new rally, potentially to 3,400 or even new all-time high. So keep an eye on 2,600 for Bitcoin. Moving on to individual names, starting with bond yield. Bond yield is just crashing to the downside. This means a weaker dollar is coming down the road and lower interest rate is coming down the road. Potentially, it's going to signal us for a lower or weaker NFP next week. So keep an eye on that one. I'm kind of like very, very, I would say, confident that we are going to get more rate cuts this year. Right now, the estimate or the forecast is going to be one, maximum two. I would say more than three maybe is coming, especially second half of this year. And Federal Reserve panic, everything could be possible. Bond yield just nicely going higher today, getting to $92. After hours, it's just getting down a little bit, but I would say 92.43, that's very, very nice scenario for bond yield. We are getting to kind of like the top information here to $94 area, so we'll see how it goes. But all in all, I should say bond yield um, a treasury bond, is forming a decisive bottom here around 85 and getting back to the upside. And I would say potentially 103 to 105 is coming down the road for later this year. Moving on to VIX. VIX just forming a bearish run here after higher high, just getting back to the downside, $19.63. And I would say VIX can go down to $12 when we see some kind of like a rally down the road for next 2-3 days before 6,045. Moving on to Dixie. Dixie is just getting back to the upside, and that put pressure on gold. And this is kind of like a contrary to the bond yield. This is kind of like the lower high, and I would say the lower low is coming potentially to 105. Apple, very nice reversal today. It's just getting back below this. I was wondering if it could go lower. If it could go lower above 224, then 200 is coming for Apple. Right now, it doesn't. So seems like the reversal is here. If we get above 248, 250, then Apple can get back to new all-time high. Amazon just getting back to the upside, reversal here as well. So still holding up this hammer pattern here. This is very, very nice pattern. So I got into this demand area 204, 202. So this is the level that we have. We need to get above 220 on Amazon if we want to see more bullish momentum. Meta, nicely double bottom formation here, 640. It is. So we need to get above 686 for a potential rally to double top here. Microsoft, pretty good actually reversal for Microsoft as well. So this is a nice reversing candle to the upside at a very, very decisive moment. It's just getting close to this demand area. 636 380 sorry 362 384. I don't know why I'm just saying numbers wrong today. Probably long week for me. 396 still below 400, but I'm kind of like a positive. We can see Microsoft is getting back to 407, 410. But after that, we need to see a strong rally if it get above 416. Google, just a reversal after long decline here, even after hours again a bet 170. Right now, we need to see Google getting back above 182. Netflix are reversing back to the upside. This is buyer's area. So still, there are lots of buyers here around 812 to 938. So we will see how it goes. Tesla, fantastic. Moving to the upside. This is capitulated. This is nicely reacting to this level. Look at this technical pattern, technical beauty here for Tesla. So remember, we were talking about this level, this pivot, and this pivot, and right on. So we just got reversal here, and we need more confirmation. Decisive level for Tesla is 360, folks. This is very, very important. I know that if we get here, we're going to see a pause, potentially to 320. That would be perfect scenario if we see a forming reverse head and shoulder and getting back to the upside to 360, because that gives me full confidence that Tesla is going to head to new all-time high. If it doesn't, that's very bad, and Tesla can get back to even 200-ish area. So we'll see how it goes. 360 for Tesla for the next rally. Right now, we are at 292. This is very, very nice tradable area for Tesla, at least for the next 2-3 days. Moving on to SMH, Semiconductor Index. After just very bad, I would say, last 2 weeks, we got ABC corrected, move to the downside, but we got kind of like a finish, it's ABC correction. And this consolidation potentially is finished. And I would say there are lots of ABC. This is kind of like ABC, the bigger picture. And also this C wave has like a 1A, 1B, and 1C. So there are lots of typical patterns in forming within this consolidation. And today we just got a nice positive momentum to the upside, especially on NVDA and Taiwan Semiconductor. We'll get that. SOX, the same pattern here. 208, just a close above 208, and right now we just need more confirmation above 220. Taiwan Semiconductor gap down, capitulated, fantastically reacted to this trend line here. Look at that. So this is kind of like a back test. We need to get above this high, which is 215. That's a lot, I know, but we need to get above that if we want to get to 240. New all-time high. AMD, finally, this is the bottom. I don't know. Every single time when we call a bottom, it goes lower, and it is very hard to find a bottom, to be honest. There is a good level here, 90 to 99, 97. That's the area, just because this one goes back to this W pattern here, this breakout zone, and this W pattern initiate new all-time high, brand new all-time high here, and this one could be just a test or kind of like a getting back to the upside. I don't know. So, but today, positive. After hours, it goes 100, which is positive again. NVIDIA, nice snap back to the upside. There are lots of good things for this, at least to just keep myself positive about this is this trend line didn't fail. So that is one thing. Another thing is we just kind of like a recapture this trend line at the weekly close. That's another positive point. The third one is we're forming a nice higher low. So still we keep this 112 as a decisive bottom. NVIDIA can go up to this trend line here. And we're going to see how it's going to react to 132 to 136. So this is very, very important. Very, very important. If we get above this, 140, I would say, then any pullback could be a great rally to new all-time high, which I believe it's coming. I'm not sure if for next 2-3 weeks, but it is coming. And then we can see a very hard sell-off for NVDA and the rest of the market potentially. Texas Instrument, nice bullish harami here. Going back to the upside, good momentum. I would say the correction is over for this name. Lam Research, weak, but still, if it follows industry, it can go higher. That was very, very ugly, sharp sell-off here. It can go up to 84, 86. That would be the scenario. Moving on to XLF, which is financials. Look at this. This is pretty close to the all-time high. Just one touch on Monday or Tuesday, we can get to new all-time high. So we will see how it goes with this XLF. So right now, I would say financials are pretty strong. So that's why I'm saying potentially Dow Jones hit new all-time high before the other one. KBE, nice reversal at $56. Right now we are at $57.33. KRE Regional Bank $62 actually just close. JP Morgan nicely reversing back to the upside, 264. This is pretty nice technical reaction to this top here. Goldman Sachs, the same pattern here. Bank of America, huge run for Bank of America today. Look at this. Just initiate this rally since it's just bottom 43.50 and getting back to the upside, $3 off. Fantastic move. And this is very, very important. Wells Fargo, 78.32. That's very, very fantastic for banks and also financials. They're doing great. So that's why I'm not bearish. I'm not bearish yet, folks, just because financials are doing great. And when financials are good, so don't be bet on the market failure. GDX gold miners. I know that gold kind of like a negative and GDX just gap down, but nice rally to the upside, still holding up very well, reacting to this pivotal point. So this is technical reaction. We may see some kind of like a bounces for the gold and gold market. GDXJ, the same pattern here. AEM nicely getting back to the upside. This proves that this pattern still is very bullish. Newmont, good actually price action when it hits 41, getting back to the upside as well. So pretty nice candle here. And gold barrick, the same scenario, managed negative, but nice capitulated, going back to the upside nicely here. Gold barrick as well. XLE, the same pattern here. Look at this. This is hugely just getting back to the upside. I would say this one is on fire and potentially crude, and crude market is getting back to the upside. XOM, the same pattern here, good consolidation. We may see a good rally for Exxon down the road. And Chevron, just after hours, is just sparking higher as well. 160, 161 is coming. If Chevron goes above 162, that would be a huge runner to new all-time high. All right, folks, I believe I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and have a good one. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.